beautiful people, a very beautiful morning, beautiful afternoon, and beautiful evening to every one of you. How are we all doing, guys? I know we're doing amazing, all right. Good to have you all once again, guys. In today's video, we are going to be discussing something very important. I personally think today's video is a video that calls for sober reflection, because a lot of us might directly or indirectly be guilty of this. So I would really encourage every one of us to please comment in this video, or please say what you think you have learned, or what you think every nurse should learn from this video. What I'm going to be discussing in this video happens today. I know when we hear about stroke off today, 20th of September, every one of us was scared. Oh, I'm tired of hearing this nurse was struck off in the United Kingdom. I'm tired of hearing this. But guys, it is important to hear this, as it actually improves our practice. It helps us to be more watchful, and it helps us to be more careful. So it is very important we hear about this. Now, before we dive into this video, if you're meeting me for the very first time, I'm Violet Okolocha. I share everything positive in this channel. You don't want to miss any of this. So please like this video, please share this video, and please don't forget to subscribe. So without wasting further ado, let us dive into the video.
Ryan Little.
Alright guys, welcome back to my channel. Like I said, this news came out today, being 20th of September. I'll pop it on your screen. As you can see on the screen, I won't be mentioning the name of the hospital, but you can see it on the screen. So what happened is that an investigation by the hospital emergency medicine consultant found that morphine dose 6 milligram has been signed on a patient drug chart, but the drug has not been administered. So if you are a nurse and you are in the UK, you know morphine is a CD medication. So this patient was supposed to be going to the theater, and so the doctors have prescribed that morphine 6 milligram should be given. But the nurse looking after this patient put a signature on the patient chart, sign on the patient chart that she has given the morphine, and in recent she has not given the morphine to the patient. So she did not give the morphine dose, but she signed that she gave the morphine dose. So guys, why I said this video calls for sober reflection is because if you had a kind of nurse that probably because of work pressure, probably because of one thing or the other, we're not here to condemn ourselves, guys. Remember, all of us are learning. You are that type of person that before you give a patient medication, you sign the drug chart. I think with this story, you might just decide to change and make sure a patient swallows a medication, or rather you administer a medication before signing. Because when I was discussing this with my lovely colleagues and we are trying to analyze this issue, there is a subtle lesson to be learned here. We should be careful, like one of them said, not to sign a medication before administering it, because our word might not be there to stand for us, but the drug chart will be there to stand. So where the documentation will be used, your words may not be there, your word may not be used. This nurse might want to say that, oh, I did not actually give this medication, and it's possible she might want to say, oh, I didn't really give this medication, but because she's the kind of person, I should think, that usually signs a medication, just pick out the drug chart and you sign and think that, okay, I will go and give them, I just don't want to make a mistake. So this nurse might have want to say she did not actually give the medication, but the question about her documentation will still be used against her because she has signed. And I remember we had an incident where two nurses did sign a CD medication, and after they signed the medication, one of the nurses, the nurse in charge of the patient actually called another nurse and said, please, can you help me so that we can give this patient CD medication? The nurse said, okay, why not? And they signed the CD medication, both of them signed. But the other nurse was looking after the patient, so the other nurse countersigned and checked with her. But that nurse who was looking after the patient took the CD medication and went to give to another patient actually. And so what happened was that they noticed the incident. The nurse who gave the wrong CD to another patient had a later. The nurse who was busy with another patient but had to check with her also had a later for not making sure she followed her to give the CD medication. So if you look at it critically, the work of a nurse is a very dicey one, and at every point in time we have to remain watchful and we have to try to learn. So like in this nurse case, probably she didn't really give the medication, no, but probably she's the type that signs before she give a medication. And that is why after listening to the story, after watching the story, I'm like, oh my god, it is very important for us not to sign a medication until we have given it, because our documentation will speak for us. She was not there anymore. They went to count or calculate the CD, and they discovered that this CD is correct. This medication she and the nurse countersigned for was not given. If it was given, how come the CD is correct? Now let's assume the CD was 7 and they countersign and remove 1. And you see now, upon checking, the CD remains 7. So it means the drug was not given, and that is why they did an investigation and they found out that truly the CD medication was not given. And so the case has been on investigation, and at the end of the day she was struck off the register. And another nurse in my unit said to me, Nurse Violet, what she did was actually very wrong, because I think she has compromised her integrity, and it is better not to stain her personality and in prayer. And I would say it's better not to stain our personality or not to stain our integrity. We should all try as much as possible to be upright. I'm sure if she had not lied that she gave the medication, I think why she lied was because she had already signed for the medication. And so when they were asking her, did you give? Because she has signed, she had to say she has given. You understand? Because her documentation is already there. I think probably that's why she lied. And I think that's why I'm saying that we should make sure patient takes their medication before we sign. And it's better for her not to have signed. Like if she hadn't signed that medication, they would have called her, you didn't give this medication, you didn't sign. I'm sure she wouldn't have gotten into this trouble of striking her off the register. Probably they would have sent her a warning letter, or probably they would have called an informal meeting with her for improvement, for personal improvement or stuff like that. But because she signed, it's got to NMC, they reported her to NMC invited her for a hearing, she didn't deem it fit to go, and NMC struck her off the register. I'm sure there must be a lesson we can learn from this. Don't you think so? I think so, honestly. So my own lesson I've learned is that I'll make sure patient takes their medication like we always do before we sign the medication. And it calls for every one of us like a sober reflection, and for us to learn one or two things from this generally. And personally, I think I've learned from this story, and I hope you tell me what you have learned as well from the story. And I'll also be dropping the link on the description box. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, don't forget to share, and don't forget to subscribe. I'm so tired. I'll see you in my next video, guys. Until I see you again, keep being the best, keep passing your OSCE exam. I love you all, and bye.